what I'm really excited about, especially with such a young crowd, is thinking about the young entrepreneurs in here who I want to talk to. To me, the fact that you're even here, whether you wanted to be here or your parent dragged you out, is something I think a lot about. I think, I'm so grateful for entrepreneurship. One of the things about starting a YouTube channel and not having a lot of views, or trying to sell some slime and only selling zero, on your Shopify. One of the things that the kids in this room don't understand yet is that no and losing are their best friends. 100%. Unfortunately, and this is just the truth, kids in this room, you're growing up in a time where grown-ups want to stop you from feeling losses and pain more than ever, because truthfully, we've now lived through 70 years of prosperity, and our parents can actually spend time worrying about that stuff instead of putting food on the table. But not to get too heady here, for the kids in this room, the number one thing about starting a business or trying to build a profile is that you're gonna lose a lot. A lot of people are gonna leave comments that you stink, that you should stop, and you're not good. You're gonna try to sell something and nobody's gonna buy it. I think back to one story I never tell that I just got inspired to tell in this room, just remembered, was I actually sold stuff door to door a lot more as a kid than I remembered. I just thought about it the other day. I used to just find things in my house that might have not even been mine. And I used to just walk around Edison, New Jersey, ringing people's doorbells and asking them if they wanted to buy it. You wanna buy this weird t-shirt or this pencil? And when you're selling ridiculous stuff that nobody wants, outside of the one person every 50 homes that just thought you were a cute kid and gave you $1, you just got a lot of no's. And one of the reasons I think so many people are struggling and are unhappy in their early 20s is we're coming into a place where people are hitting their 20s that were parented of a generation that tried to overprotect. And I think losing is awesome, because you deserved it. It means somebody was better than you. And that's good for you to know, because that's real life. That's how it's gonna be. And I think getting somebody to say no is awesome, because that's real life. It doesn't mean you suck. It means what you tried to do right now didn't work. And I think that we have to have a much bigger conversation around that, and I'm happy a lot of you are listening to it right now, because it's very real. Because I will tell you, kids, and parents for that matter, that I sit up here tonight extremely happy because I was losing so much and got so many no's as a kid. Because now that I'm a grown-up, it doesn't scare me. And unfortunately for a lot of grown-ups, it continues to scare them. They cared about what kids in high school thought about their dress. They cared about opinions, and they were overprotected, and it made them incapable. I really believe in the zoo animal thing. We go to the Central Park, Bronx Zoo right now, and release those animals into their natural habitat, they're dead in 10 seconds. And I think we have to be very thoughtful for the parents in this room, especially who brought their kids tonight. You have to let them lose. No fake environments are destroying their actual confidence. It's true. It's the great disservice of parenting to eliminate merit and the truth from your kids. So I really like entrepreneurship for that. My mom didn't micromanage, she let me live, which means the system said no to me a lot. I did a lot of card shows that I didn't do well on. I had a lot of bad things happen. When I was 13, 40-year-old dudes were ripping me off, because they just imposed their old man will on me and scared me. All sorts of stuff happened, all of which allow me the great luxury to be in front of you tonight. So really, ultimately, here's what I would say, and then I'll go into Q&A, because I think it'll bring the most value. I desperately need you guys to leave here understanding how ridiculously lucky we are to be alive during this era. This internet thing is no joke. No joke. And by the way, for everybody who gets 1 trillion followers and makes it, Justin Bieber, YouTube, it's now been a while since this has been happening and working. I think for a lot of this room, you may not go on to be Bieber or build a YouTube channel that makes $80 million selling toys, but the real conversation that isn't being talked about is I do believe almost everybody in this room is uncomfortably capable of producing a $100,000 a year business if they put in a lot of time and a lot of effort and have skill, whether that is through making a channel and having brands subsidize that, or selling stuff, or starting a product. And I hope that everybody who watches this that's not in here, or even the people in here, realize that that's a big statement. That's a lot of money. It just is. And I say it so simply, but it's not simple at all. But the fact that you can, in a way that you never could before, is remarkable. And I think all the people you look up to, or you admire, or you've watched build real businesses or real influence on these platforms, they're the preview, not the anomaly. And not everybody's gonna have my natural talent or work ethic or the chips fall the way they did. But I want people to love their game the way I love it, not get the accolades or success that I have, because the happiness is way more fun than the byproduct. And I know a ton of people who are unbelievably happy and make $49,000 a year, and I know an enormous amount of people who are deeply unhappy and sick who make $7 million a year. And something I've been saying a lot, and I want to say more often, there was always that joke that people talked about, like, around always valuing money, and they talked about, I'd rather cry in my Ferrari, right? And that saying always pissed me off, right? This notion that, okay, you're crying, you're deeply unhappy, and the Ferrari versus a Toyota is supposed to be some sort of variable there. It's such insane bad talk. Everybody should aspire to be smiling in their Toyota. If you find out and understand yourself, and you put yourself in the best position, and you happen to have talent, and you put in a ridiculous amount of work, then you might be able to smile in your Ferrari. And that's amazing too. But these are the things that are running through my head, and I appreciate you having me here tonight. Thank you.